The pain was absolutely real, but the story that you were burning was never true. You were standing beside the fire watching everything you thought you were turn to ash. You thought you were burning. You thought the pain would consume you, that you would not survive the loss, that grief would break something that you couldn't rebuild. But what burned, it was not you. It was what you clung to, what you named as self, what you mistook for permanent. A relationship, a role, a future you had scripted, an identity you built around safety or love or meaning. And when it was taken, you collapsed. Of course you did, because humans are architects of narrative. And when the story dies, we believe that we die with it. But the fire never touched your essence. It didn't touch the part of you that watches from behind the eyes, the observer. It didn't touch the stillness that remains within when everything else is gone. That part remains untouched, always watching, even as you screamed. This is the secret that grief conceals, that suffering isn't the loss, it's the story you wrapped around it, the belief that something was stolen, that your life was derailed, that love betrayed you, that the universe miscalculated. But the universe does not miscalculate. It dismantles, it dissolves, it rearranges what you thought was fixed to return you to what is real. And grief, real grief, is sacred. It doesn't need to be solved, it simply needs to be witnessed. It's not a malfunction, it's not a weakness, it's the sound of your old identity dying, so a truer self can rise from the ashes. But if you resist the fire, if you name it as punishment, if you call it unfair, you suffer twice, once from the loss and again from the story. That's the real fire. Not what happened, but what you told yourself it meant. That you're unworthy, that you're alone, that you're broken, that you've been betrayed, that you're cursed, that life only gives joy to other people. These stories are the smoke that blinds you. And as long as you inhale this smoke, you will never see the truth. You were never inside the fire. You were always the one watching. But you forgot, because pain seduces, pain insists it's everything. It narrows your vision until all you can see is the wound. But wounds don't define you, they reveal you. They show you where you had built too much on the foundations of illusion, where you had mistaken comfort and convenience for coherence and truth, where you sacrificed that same truth for approval. And when that burns, it hurts, but it's also sacred fire, because what remains after the fire is not less of you, it is only you, unclothed, unmasked, unimpressed by performance. It is the you that doesn't need the story to be whole. And when you meet that version, you stop fearing loss, not because you've become numb, but because you see clearly. You see that grief isn't the enemy, it is the threshold, the holy passage between what no longer serves and what has always waited underneath. So no, you were never burning, you were watching the illusions fall away. And the pain, it wasn't proof of your failure, it was the signal that something sacred was being rewritten from the inside out. So let the fire burn what it must, let the grief strip what it will, let the ash settle without rushing to rebuild something from it. Because only when you stop naming the fire as punishment can you finally stand in the clearing and remember, you were never inside the fire, you were never broken, you were always becoming. What burned was never you, only the story that said you were. Welcome to The Architect Speaks.